Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're checking out Bounty Hunters issue 40 by Ethan Sachs and David Tinto. Tonga continues her mission to find and kill Valance before the Scourge can put him to good use, but in a rather obvious yet still very fun turn, her bounty hunter squad betray her, citing her hopeless mission which will end up with them getting died or worse without any credits. The mutiny is led by Captain Kell, a character I've always really disliked merely because it was really obvious she was going to betray the team at some point. She made it very well known that she did not like Tonga and the way she operated, and I was just waiting for something like this to happen. The one person I'm quite surprised turned on Tonga was Bosk, and I like that Sachs hinted at the idea that he doesn't really like that he turned on these people, considering that he and Tonga have had a long professional history together with Valance. But also, this is something in his nature as a Trandoshan, and I like that Sachs referenced that as well. This is just something that he has to do because his DNA is programmed to be like that. Like the Dr. Aphra tie-in before it, the book also sees the hunters head to Epiconia for Valance, and again, there is no connective tissue to the Aphra book or the Star Wars ongoing. All these groups should be getting together and bringing their stories together, and I can't understand why they aren't. It's equally frustrating as the book was clearly set up for that by having all of them arrive at the same planet, at the same village, at the same time. And by doing that, you could have had one issue after another sort of detailing the plan as it moves forward until the Scourge is defeated. At least Sachs has the idea to cut away to Lieutenant Hayden, a character we haven't really seen much over the last few issues. We find Hayden is also working to get Valance back, wanting to use the backup of his mind the Imperials have on file to help get him back. And I like this is also bringing back the really quite brief romance that Hayden and he had over the course of the issues that they were in together. And I'm looking forward to Sachs getting a little bit more time with that, hopefully. I know this book is also ending very soon, but it looks like he is setting up to at least give this story a conclusion of sorts. Sachs also uses Hayden's inclusion to also tie back into Greg Pak's Vader issue 40, as Darth Vader himself appears, wanting to deal with the project himself, as he too is now been infected with the Scourge and needs any and all information they can to help infect more organic bodies. We do eventually go back to Tonga's side of the story, as she and Zuckuss, after being betrayed and left on Epiconia by Zell and Bosk, have been captured by the Scourge, and they plan on dicing them up in one of their gruesome experiments that no other book has really dealt with. The Aphra book has been the one that's been mostly dealing with that, so really disappointed we didn't get to see any of that sort of stuff in this book. Ethan Sachs has begun wrapping up not just his part of the Dark Droids event, but also the story of Valance and the Bounty Hunters, rounding out some of the long gestating plot lines and wrapping them together in anticipation for one big finale in issue 42. Like the other tie-ins though, this book suffers from some disconnection despite all of the events of these books being on the same planet and converging together in the same place. I am going to give this issue a 7 out of 10.